Thanks for clicking. Let's get right into this full story. I, 24F at the time, had been good acquaintances with my nail tech of over 4 years. We will call her Stacy, 31F. In the beginning of 2022, she offered for me to move into her parents' old house with another client of hers and split rent. I've been wanting to move out for a while and thought it would be a perfect opportunity, as I would know my landlord to be her brother that we will call Simon, 35M. As I was a week away from moving in, my mother passed away unexpectedly. I was devastated and had to take care of all of her assets and my father within less than 24 hours. It was a rough beginning of the year, but Stacy was there for me. At first, she would always check in on me and try to cheer me up with dinners and hangouts. We were becoming close, and I thought I was making a friend for life at this point. Oh, how wrong I was. 3 months after my mother passed, I had quit my job due to HR spreading rumors about my usage of PTO for grief. Story for another day. When I told Stacy, she offered me a job at the nail salon as a receptionist. I was excited to work at the place I went to relax from Manus and Petus and hang out with my friend, who would be my assistant manager. Things were great at first, and I even started making new friendships with others. I am still close with many of them to this day, but one of them named Alice, 26F, was apparently going to buy a new roommate in the fall as my previous roommate ended her lease early. Lots of drama there too. I've got so many side stories. Alice and I began to hang out outside of work so we can learn more about each other since we would become roommates. Well, this made Stacy unhappy and she began to stir drama. She would tell me lies about my coworkers, such as they talked bad about my weight, judging my boyfriend, backstabbing each other. Stacy told me so many things that I felt I couldn't trust anyone there for a while, but that changed when Stacy traveled abroad for a week and returned to work. Stacy informed Alice and me, literally 3 days before Alice was to move in, that she was also moving in, but not to live there, to open her own nail salon. Alice and I were confused, like where would the salon go? Stacy told us it would be in the back of the house, across from my bedroom. Alice and I were shocked and pissed off. Alice decided not to move in because of it, and I didn't blame her for it. But now I am stuck living across from a nail salon, and Stacy began to show some true colors and her deceit began to surface. Alice talked with some of the other nail techs, and they told her that Stacy has done similar things before to receptionists. She would be nice to them at first, then alienate them from the other nail techs because she wanted to manipulate the sales, so she made more money. Then when the receptionist would find out, drama would unfold, and the issues would be blamed on the receptionist. I didn't want to believe it at first, but since she began to act suspicious with wanting to open a salon in the house I was renting in, which went against my lease, I began to move in the shadows and investigated. Stacy began to take things from the salon she claimed were hers without informing the owner. She has been friends with the owner, we will call him Nick, 34M, for over 11 years, so they were really close. However, Nick began reaching out to me directly because he was told I wasn't doing my job correctly. Of course, I asked him what was it that I wasn't doing, and he told me I was overcharging clients. I asked him what the prices were to everything, I played dumb, and set them up. Stacy began changing the prices again, and I began taking screenshots and documenting. I also told him we were running out of certain supplies and told me that was impossible because he recently bought them. I told him that's what Stacy told me we needed, but then she would tell me that's not what she meant. Weird, weird, weird. Then the final straw happened. One day, she asked me to take some boxes to her car, and I agreed. I didn't know what was in the boxes until I placed them in her trunk. It was some waxing supplies like the waxing beads, sticks, wet wipes, etc. Also some rhinestones, special gel polishes, and other nail items. A week later, Alice tells me that Nick is investigating in missing supplies. Guess which supplies? Yep, you're correct. The ones I carried to her car. And yes, the supplies are at the house that I am renting, because that is where her new salon will be. And there are cameras in the salon. My heart dropped, and I knew that Stacy was trying to frame me like she did with previous receptionists. I was hurt because I thought she cared about me, but I had already gathered enough evidence, and it was time I came out of the shadows. I compiled a list of everything she had done for the past 3 months, from missing supplies, overcharging, stealing clients by referring them to her salon without an LLC and expired license, defamation on current and previous employees, and text messages about her plans for her new salon, with a specific message saying she is doing this because Nick was a con artist. I texted Nick I needed to talk to him, and he set up a time for 3 days. I told Alice and all my other coworkers about it, and they said they would have my back if Nick asked them. Stacy came in the next day and tried to be sweet to me. I gave her a cold shoulder and told her I'll talk to you after work. She looked nervous but began working. Stacy asked me to meet her in the back of the salon towards the end of the day, and I did. She asked me what was wrong, and I told her I knew the supplies she asked me to take to her car were not hers, and Nick is investigating. I told her she has 3 days to tell Nick, or that I will. She told me she would, and for the next 3 days she called, texted, and even came to me at work to reassure me she took care of the situation. She even told me Nick already knows I took the supplies, and I don't even need to talk to him. But I still did. Nick arrives, and Stacy didn't show up to work. Nick asks where is Stacy, and I told him avoiding you because she has been deceiving you. I told him everything and showed him the evidence. He looked pained and told me this isn't the first time Stacy has done something to hurt my business, but this has gone too far. He told me I should not renew my lease, wasn't planning to, and that he'll be talking to Stacy about all of this. He asked if it was okay if he mentioned me, and I told him I wanted her to know it was me. That night, Stacy blew up my phone calling me a liar and asking how could I betray her for everything she did for me. I told her yes, she did a lot for me, but that doesn't make it okay to frame me for theft. She tried to tell me it was hers, and I sent her the screenshots of receipts that it was under Nick's card. She then said I have been brainwashed by the other nail techs and that they've been out to get her since day one. She texted a lot of nonsense, but I just kept mentioning the theft and told her this is over. She said she would tell Simon to not renew my lease, and I told her I wasn't planning on it anyways. Fast forward a week, Nick texts me that I need to change the passwords from the system and to take Stacy out. He was changing the locks and access codes to everything because he fired Stacy. He thanked me for my honesty and told me I am temporary assistant manager, but I left 2 months after to go back into my field of psychology. I moved in with my now husband, Alice, and I are best friends now, and Stacy apparently lost a lot of her clients due to her ethics and personal choices.